Hey everybody, Alex Kozora, SteelersDepot.com, back to do our weekly Talk to the Tape. Had one reader request a breakdown of Terrell Edmunds' game. I've called it the best game of his young career, and I still stand by that after going through the All-22. So a couple plays we're going to look at today from this one, and just a couple quick thoughts before we get into the actual tape of this game. But I thought that Edmunds bouncing back was big in two ways. One reason why he bounced back was because his team had him in the box a lot more than Baltimore, which I thought was a mistake. And two, it's just good to see him bounce back because of how poor he played against the Ravens, and to show that mental toughness to come back after a tough game that was Steelers-Ravens, a very important AFC North game, primetime football, and to play in a big way was really impressive. So I was glad to see that. But looking at here, the first play actually, none of these plays that we're going to show are really that eye-popping. They're not going to go on any sort of highlight reel, end of season kind of thing, but it doesn't have to. It just needs to be steady, consistent, and reliable. So they throw this little swing pass to the receiver here, and Edmunds just does a nice job being able to break down, make the tackle, square up, finish the play. So just break down here, was a Sanu, make an open field tackle, goes for a gain of 1. You get the nickel blitz here, so Edmunds is rolling down on number 2. They're running one of these RPOs, very similar to what the Steelers run. Steelers will often give a little seam route down here with the bubble option as well. But yeah, so Edmunds replacing the nickel corner who's blitzing, just comes down, breaks down, is under control, makes the tackle. It's a 1-yard gain. Puts them in 3rd and 12. So, that's a very simple play. I'm not saying this is the greatest play in the world. I'm not saying, wow, guys, check this out. This is incredible. But it's a play that you have to make, and he does, and I'm happy to see it. And that's why we're talking about it. So I'll play it again here, and I'll slow it down just to show the tackle. Just break down, get yourself under control, change directions with Sanu, make the tackle, help arrives, finish the play. So one last look at it. Because that's what we're looking for. Just a guy that's going to be reliable, especially playing strong safety. You're going to be involved in a lot more tackles than the free safety. You want to be reliable and trusted to make that play. All right, jumping actually to the next play, which I think was Edmunds' best play of the game. 3rd and 12, crucial situation. It's a 13-10 game here, early second half. Falcons here in an empty set that they're going to end up motioning the tight end into the backfield. Steelers playing cover 1, so a single high safety with man coverage everywhere else, including Edmunds on the back here, Coleman. Ryan's going to throw the crosser to Coleman, and Edmunds one-on-one. He's either going to make the tackle and stop him short of the sticks, or Coleman's going to get the first down, and they're going to keep the drive alive, and Edmunds makes the open field tackle to get the defense off the field. Look at it from the end zone angle. Again, cover 1. Sutton's coming in on the blitz because the tight end stays in. Edmunds, good angle, makes the tackle, short of the sticks. I want it the whole way through from both the end zone here and the aerial angle. Run it back. Edmunds down here, working over the back. Just making a strong open field tackle. Again, it's not spectacular. I'm not saying this is the greatest play, but it's a really important play. It's a necessary play to get a defense off the field. And yes, it's a running back and not a receiver, but hey, those guys are equally tough and in some ways more difficult to bring down in space than, let's say, a slot receiver on that play. And just good coverage elsewhere as well. You can see them, they're doubling Julio Jones. We're actually going to show that here in a minute. Shading the safety to that side, playing 2-man, playing the bracket coverage underneath, but that's besides the point. To Edmunds, he makes the tackle. 2 more plays to look at. Again, nothing super crazy, but I think they're important to show. I like that they're simplifying things for Edmunds. I like that they got back to more basics last week, or compared to last week where they had Edmunds as the single high and playing him in space, and it just wasn't something he was comfortable with. Here he's playing a lot closer to the line of scrimmage. I think it lets him process quicker, plays more comfortable, plays faster, and just simply plays better. So this play gets negated by a Dupree hands to the face penalty, but we don't care about that for the purposes of this play. Steelers on this one are playing kind of a variation of what's called cone coverage. Basically, if number 1 comes in true cone, it'll be passed off. It's a version of pattern matching where, let's say you were playing cover 3 instead of, or let's say even cover 1. Instead of this corner following the receiver inside, putting him in a trail position in most situations, the safety's going to replace and come down and play the crosser instead and pass that off. You still get the corner following here. Again, it's Julio Jones, and that's like the bracket we showed before, but it's a similar idea. Edmunds does a nice job of taking a great angle to the football to Julio Jones and separate player from ball. This would have gotten the Steelers off the field had it not been for Dupree's dumb hands to the face penalty, which you'll see here, but still it's a positive play for Edmunds. So you get a hands to the face, I think, right there from Dupree. That negates this, but again, the angle, now yes, the pass is behind. I mean, it's probably incomplete either way, but I like the angle, I like the read, and I like the close from Terrell Edmunds on that play. I care about the process as much as I care about the end result. And showing a little bit of physicality just to finish that while still playing clean. Again, I'm not saying this is an out-of-this-world kind of play. I'm not saying this is Terrell Edmunds. This is the start of stardom for him. I'm not saying that. I'm just pointing out that I'm happy about this play, especially coming off a Ravens game where he really could not have looked worse. But again, I think the coaching staff did not put him in the best position to succeed. So we'll look at it one more time from this angle. We'll go up top one more, and then I'll show you a similar version of this play that came in the fourth quarter, and that'll be our last play. So again, it's been up and down for Edmunds. He's been playing a lot more than, obviously, I think anyone kind of expected or even really planned for because of Morgan Burnett's groin injury. I think Burnett, as of Wednesday, is still out with, still missed practice with that groin injury, so it's not looking too good for him to play against Cincinnati. So Edmunds will probably continue to be the guy. So he's got to have that big impact, and he's got to kind of play that consistent role that he showed in this game. He's got to play like this most weeks. Just not make any egregious mistakes, be a good tackler, a good communicator, and just play fast and read your keys well. Last one. I believe it's this one. Here in the fourth quarter. Again, this one is probably the most boring of the now four that I've shown you guys, but just playing similar. Just taking the crosser, a little bit more like true cone coverage here, where you have the safety coming down and taking away number one on the backside on the crosser. Throw doesn't even go there, goes to the flat, it's incomplete, Walk gets pressure off the play action. But I like the read, I like that he's in position, he takes that away, and that's, one reason why Julio Jones was shut out through the first three quarters. Hayden played great, give him a lot of credit for that, but there was obviously a very clear effort, as you would imagine, in taking Julio Jones away, making other receivers, other weapons, beat the Steelers, and not letting Julio go off for his typical $150. And then, then you're going to be in a tougher spot to force Sanu and Ridley and Hooper, which is what ended up happening to make those plays. So Edmunds coming down, reading his keys, seeing the boot action. As soon as he sees the play action, Edmunds is coming down to take away the crosser from number one, from Julio Jones, reading it, breaking downhill, good angle of the football. Even if there's no pressure, let's assume that Watt's not there for whatever reason. Julio's not going to be an option on this play. The throw has to go to the flat, and the pressure forces the incompletion. So, I know this isn't the most spectacular video, but somebody suggested it. I was kind of half planning on talking about it because I have said repeatedly that I thought this was Edmunds' best game of his NFL career, so I wanted to kind of show that. Again, not spectacular, but when you're playing that strong safety role, it doesn't always have to be. You want to get reliability, consistency in both your tackling and doing some of the underneath, intermediate kind of coverage stuff. And I thought Edmunds did that at a solid level, and that'll be good for his development going forward. So hopefully you can get more of that from him, not only against the Bengals this Sunday, but the rest of the season. So let me know your questions or comments or thoughts on Terrell Edmunds and this secondary as a whole, as it's looking to take the next step and try to turn the tide from where it was the first quarter of the season. Sunday was a positive step in that direction, but still a long ways to go for this whole group, and certainly nothing written in stone just yet. So thank you guys so much for watching, whether you're doing so on YouTube, Steelers Depot, or following me on Twitter at Alex_Kozora. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.